Hello, hello, welcome. I'm Marina Orms, and I am here with you for session 5 of the Astrology Jetpack 10 Planets to Accelerate Your Vision in 2019. And we've been having some amazing sessions just to give you a taste of this world of astrology and what it has to offer. And as I spoke about in the very beginning, we have this tool, this amazing model and tool for working with our own wellness. And when I say wellness, I don't mean just physical wellness. I mean well-being at the levels of mind, body, spirit, and emotion. And so we have all 4 dimensions of ourselves, and we have we have needs in each of those areas. And the beauty of the astrology chart is that it shows you specifically what your needs are in all those areas and more in your own particular makeup. And we talked about the complexity of astrology and how it, how we know that it's a real useful tool because it is so complex. Because anything that's overly simplified really isn't going to give us what we need. We're, as human beings, answers just aren't simple. We know that. We know that when we try the simple answers, there's always something more to learn. And so astrology really helps us understand what that lesson is, and to work with it consciously and to make empowered choices in our lives and with the things that challenge us, whether they be physical or health issues, or whether they be any number of other issues that challenge us in our lives. So today we're going to be diving in with the lunar nodes. I'm so excited because, we've talked about the basics of a chart, which are the makeup of the 10 planets. And as I mentioned, we do have a natal report at astrologyheals.com that you can order, and it will tell you where all your 10 planets are and what your soul lessons are for each sign. But of course, as you know, even that, it's just the very, very tip of the iceberg. There really is so much more we can dive in and understand when we look at a whole chart, when we look at how the planets interact with each other in the chart and where they actually fall. So there's just so much more detail that an astrologer can tell you about. But that natal report is really, really helpful. It gives you just a beautiful summary and glimpse into yourself, and if you get one for people that helps a lot too. And the soul lessons for each of the planets in your chart. And then of course we also talked about in this Jetpack series, we talked about the soul-based action plan, and we started filling one out, and there was one part, if you might recall, of the soul-based action plan part 1 that we had to leave blank because it had to do with the lunar nodes, and that's what we're going to be covering today. So you'll be able to go back and fill that in your soul-based action plan. We do have a couple of handouts for today, so make sure that you find those in your email. If you are having trouble finding the handouts, go ahead and you'll need to click on the Get Tickets link, and that will sign you up for the event officially, and you'll get all the handouts. You can also email us at info@astrologyheals.com if you're having any trouble with your email or finding those handouts or anything. We'd love to help you out. So, and I have a challenge again today with the sun. It's going in and out from behind the clouds. All right, so hopefully you can see me okay. It was too bright before, so I closed the curtain, and now it's getting a little dark. But anyway, it's all good. We love weather, right? We love we love what the sky is deciding to do and how we interact with it in our own lives, and that's what astrology is all about. And that is why I wrote this book, Astrology Heals, the Orms Method of Transformational Astrology, because I wanted to show people who aren't aware of this information how powerful it is, and to make it accessible to you if you don't, if you haven't dived in deeper, studied astrology, to really just put it in plain language with some fun stories, and stories from my life, stories from some of my clients, and just really how powerful these tools are. And again, how complex they really are when you get in and look at your chart. So when you see something about your chart, like your sign, doesn't quite feel right, the things you read about it, that's because there's more to it, really. There might be more that somebody would see by looking at your chart that would mitigate what you're reading about, or provide a little more depth or insight into that. So today is the lunar nodes. Hopefully you have the handouts, and I see, yeah, great. Welcome everybody. I see some people are joining us, so that's awesome. And I know some people are watching the recording because they can't be here live, so that's awesome too. I love this platform because it does provide that flexibility. So the content for today is the lunar nodes. And let me just check my notes and make sure I covered everything. Yeah, awesome. So what the lunar nodes are, the lunar nodes, unlike the planets in your chart, the lunar nodes kind of take you into a whole new level. They are part of your chart. The lunar nodes are actually 2 points in the sky. They're not actual planets or bodies, but they have to do with where the sun and moon line up when there's an eclipse. And so they do relate to eclipse energies. And we have a lunar eclipse coming up on Sunday that is a lunar eclipse because it's the sun and the moon during the full moon are lined up with the lunar nodes. And that's what the lunar nodes are, is they're that alignment of the planes of the different orbits. And for whatever reason, they turn out to be super, super powerful. And like I said, they really take us to a whole different level. Basically, when I studied astrology, there was, I thought, well, all this is true, and it's great, and it's interesting, and, but really, let's be honest, like I could also have figured that out about myself without my chart, right? I mean, it's kind of validating and confirming. But intuition is another great way, and the different ways that we get insights into ourselves without the astrology chart are also really valid. However, when we get to the lunar nodes, we're really talking about something that goes much deeper. And so it gives us insight into our unconscious patterns and what is causing fears or anxieties that don't make rational sense in the here and now. And so the south lunar node, there's two nodes, the south node and the north node. And excuse me, I got a little bit of a throat thing, so hopefully my voice will hold out here. The south node relates to your karmic past, and it is the unconscious drives and safety mechanisms that keep you defaulting to old habits and patterns. And so whether or not you believe in past lives, the lunar nodes, and specifically the south node, speaks to a past life story. It speaks to a story of what may have happened to you before this lifetime. And again, I don't want to argue with people about whether past lives are real or not. It really doesn't matter, because the bottom line is that the south node affects how you're wired when you're born. And we do know that. Let me just get some of my lemon tea here. So the south node relates to the karmic past and what you may have lived in past lives, whether real or a story that helps you understand yourself. So, and then the North Node is your evolutionary medicine. And the North Node is the instructions that show you how to move forward in this life. And so these instructions are optional. They are, you know, they're not going to, life isn't going to force you to follow these instructions, but it is going to provide them to you as an option. And so when you know about the lunar nodes, that's why it's so powerful, is that it's like, oh, that's what I need to do. And when you do what is represented by the lunar nodes, even though it feels, remember, the South Node comes from your unconscious. So the North Node feels uncomfortable to step into. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like, why would we do that? Why would we do what is represented by the North Node? And yet, when we do what the North Node instructions tell us to do, our lives work out better. We're more effective at shifting and manifesting what we want, at stepping into our purpose, at living a rich and meaningful life, and again, just manifesting the things that are most deeply important to you, deep inside your soul. So, to find out your lunar nodes. Now, your lunar nodes are going to be in a particular pair of signs. So the South Node is in one sign and the North Node is in the opposite sign. And if you look at that first handout, handout number 1 should be the South Node birthday chart. And that chart, basically what you do is you look up your birthday, you find the date range, make sure you're checking the year, and then look on that line and it will tell you your South Node and your North Node. And you can do this for your family members, your friends, you know, get some insight into the people you care about. And this will tell you your South Node and North Node. One little disclaimer is that if your birthday happens to fall right on or right next to the day when it changes, you will want to confirm with an astrologer, because there are different time zones, there's different factors that might affect what your lunar node sign pairs actually are. So you'll want to, if your birthday is right on that, within a day or two of when it changes, you'll want to check with an astrologer and confirm. And if you order a natal report, it will be your South Node and North Node will be on that report as well. And it's also, it has a whole chapter in my book. So so check out the Lunar Nodes chapter in Astrology Heals, which is available on Amazon, by the way. You have to search on Astrology Heals, and you might have to search Astrology Heals Marina Orms. It's still not showing up, as last time I checked, it's still not showing up in the search with just Astrology Heals. But anyway, if you do Astrology Heals and my name, you'll find it on Amazon, or you can go to astrologyheals.com, and we have a button there that will take you right to order the book. Awesome. So handout 2, your second handout, is going to show you the meaning of your lunar node pairs. So you're going to look at you're going to find the signs of your South Node and your North Node. And then you're going to read here. This is just a general insight and understanding into each pair of South Nodes, or each pair of lunar nodes. So you've got the South Node as again, the karmic past is the South Node. Now remember, that's what you had to do in order to survive. So the South Node represents your lower vibration of living and expression of yourself. It's going to be what you default to when you're uncomfortable, when you're under stress, when you're unconscious. You're going to default to that South Node pattern, and it's comfortable. It's what you know. It's what you know how to do. You're good at it, and it holds you back because it's what you had to do to survive in the karmic past. And so you're going to want to look at the North Node to see what your evolutionary medicine is. And your evolutionary medicine is an invitation to shift and transform. It's really an invitation to step into your highest potential. not comfortable. And your North Node may bring up anxiety. It may, you may have all kinds of rationalizations for why it's not a good idea. People in your life may be telling you it's a really, really bad idea for you to do the things related to your North Node. But your chart is telling you otherwise. Your chart is telling you, you need to do this. And so do it in baby steps. Do it in little ways that allow you to move gently out of your comfort zone and step more and more over time into that lunar North Node and its highest possibilities for you in your life. So welcome. I'm glad to see all of you here. And what I'm going to do, since we're talking about the lunar nodes, I don't have time to go into every single sign here on our call. But what I'm going to do is go into the 4 elements. And so it breaks down into 4 categories of earth, air, fire, and water, where your South Node is, and understanding yourself and your friends and loved ones from that perspective. So I'm going to be doing that. But first, I just want to remind you that, this is a simplified version of it. When you get insight and an interpretation of your own chart, you do get more of the factors. You get the full experience of where your lunar nodes are in your chart, how they relate to the other planets, where they are in the individual houses that they're in, and what all of that means for you. And so with that uniqueness in your own chart, I feel like there would be really, in an ideal world, everyone would have that time working in depth with an astrologer and that opportunity to learn the specifics of their own chart. Because like I said, there's not only the soul lessons of all the planets and how they interact and the insights that gives you, but there's also this very unique component of the lunar nodes that helps you understand yourself in depth. It really is the direct lens that reveals what it is that holds you back and why, and what to do about it. And it's very specific and individual for you. So in an ideal world, I think everyone would have time in depth with an astrology practitioner, a professional who understands this holistic piece of having the different dimensions of your chart and yourself and how it applies and what to do about it and what it looks like in your real life. And that's why for me, I've found that when I've done one-off readings for people, it's really not enough. A one-off reading with someone is an opportunity for me to fill your head full of information. And then people walk away with a reading with so much information, and they don't have a lot of support for figuring out what to do with it. They don't know how to implement and integrate it into their lives and what it looks like and what does it look like in this situation, and and how does it apply here, and how does that change over time. So that's why I developed the ORMS method of transformational astrology, because I want you to not only have the astrological insight, but also the support to work with real life issues and challenges, to understand what that holistic healing and transformation looks like, and how to work with the real life issues and challenges that are in your life, and what it looks like, what the specific tools are that help you based on your lunar nodes, and how to integrate that and implement it in concrete, tangible ways in your life. And with 25 years of practicing astrology and holistic healing, I have tools for every lunar node type, every pair of lunar nodes. I have tools for every soul lesson of all the signs and the planets and what it looks like in different ways that it shows up in people's charts. And again, just really how to integrate that into your real life issues and challenges, and to understand how your chart is giving you insight into how to handle those in order to step into your highest good. And that's leading me to the special offer that I have available right now. And it's called the Rocket Fuel Soul Purpose Booster Package. That includes 5 private sessions working with me that you can use over time. And we do an in-depth interpretation of your chart and show you how to implement your own astrology of potential and what that looks like with the complexity and truth of your own chart and your own real life, and understanding what those soul lessons are so that you can shift the energies and challenges that get in your way. Anything, again, from physical or health challenges to financial challenges to low self-esteem to, you know, just anything that gets in your way that tends to be a repeating theme for you. This will help you shift and transform in real, tangible, lasting ways so that you are truly, truly stepping into your highest potential. And again, in just a minute, I'm going to go into the 4 elements and for each lunar node and give you some insight into that. But I wanted to just give you a chance to sign up for a complimentary clarity call with me that I'm offering right now. And it will help you see if that Rocket Fuel Soul Purpose Booster Package is right for you. It's great for people who know that they have a purpose, but aren't really sure how to fully step into it. It's great for people who are in transition. It's great for when you know that you're already stepping into the life you truly want to live and you're concerned about staying the course or wanting support in that process as, you know, the inevitable real life challenges come along in the way, to really have that commitment to yourself and that soul nurturing support for yourself and your own highest potential, which again, you know, it's like, really, what else is more important in your life? This is the reason you're here. This is the one life you get. Even if we have past lives and future lives, you know, this one needs to count. So that 15-minute complimentary clarity call, you can have that private time with me where you can ask your questions. I'm happy to look at your soul-based action plan and just look at it with you and see if this package is a good fit for you and what that will look like for us to work together. So if you want to sign up for that complimentary 15-minute clarity session, it's, let me get the correct link here. It's bit.ly/, sorry about that. bit.ly/rocket fuel package. And that's a page that tells you all about the rocket fuel package, what's included. You also get ongoing support in addition to the private sessions with me. In the package, you get the ongoing support of my member program at the paid level, and that's the Lunar Expedition level that includes guided meditations for each new and full moon that has that helps you optimize the energy for each new and full moon and the particular chart that is active at that particular time. And again, you know, all these energies, qualities of energy are constantly changing in the world around us. Just to let you know, the Rocket Fuel package is going to help you lift off in 2019, and the investment to work with me is $1,919, so $1,919. And again, you know, schedule that clarity call with me, and we'll talk about your situation and how this can be helpful to you. And whatever options there are for working with me, I'd be happy to talk to you. So, perhaps the month-to-month program is the best fit for you. So we can explore that. Even if you're totally not sure about it, I would love to talk to you in that clarity call. So go ahead and take advantage of my offer to have that time with me and get your questions answered. Awesome. Okay, so as promised, we are going to talk about the elements, the 4 elements of the South Node and the Lunar Node pairs. So if your South Node is is in a fire sign. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius are the fire signs. If you have a south node in a fire sign, it means in the karmic past, your life was focused on action. You were focused on movement and response and your ability to be in action. You know, courage and boldness and assertiveness and putting yourself out there were your default. And you come into this life and that's your default. Again, it's your comfort zone. It's where you feel comfortable being in action, being bold, being expressive, putting yourself out there. And your north node, if your south node is in fire, your north node is in air. So your evolutionary instructions are in an air sign, and that means your evolutionary instructions, if your south node is in a fire sign, are to think things through, right? Not to be so quick to react, to deliberate, to consider, to talk it through with a friend, to gather information, to do some research. Those are the air north node invitations. And so for somebody with a south node in Aries, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like, I don't have time to slow down and think it through. I don't have time to gather information. I just need to do this now. And that's where your default is going to be. But the more you can encourage yourself to take baby steps in that direction of serving your mind, asking questions, gathering information, and thinking things through, the more you're going to be empowered to step into your own highest purpose. If your south node is in an earth sign, that would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. That means that in the karmic past, you were very focused on the tangible world. You were engaged with food and physical survival and the needs of your body and housing and very physical things like that. You were engaged with the physical world and physical materials. And so if your south node is in earth, that means your north node is in water, and your evolutionary instructions have to do with being less tangible. They have to do with trusting your feelings, your intuition, the flow of energy, art, and the intangible. So the more if you have a south node in earth, remember your default is going to be to be thinking about the physical world and to have things that make sense and are rational. And your evolutionary instructions are to be less rational, be more feeling based, be more trusting of the flow. And those baby steps in that direction are going to help you step into your highest good. And then if your south node is in an air sign, so that's the opposite, that means your north node is in a fire sign. If your south node is in an air sign, in the karmic past, you were focused on words and language and ideas and communication and problem solving. And you were very good at surviving based on your ability to think quickly, to engage with ideas and thoughts and research and reading and things like that. The air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you have one of those, then your evolutionary instructions are in fire. And the evolutionary instructions in fire are telling you, get out of your head, get into action. So for a north node in a fire sign, you need to take more risks, be more bold, put yourself out there, try doing things even if you haven't thought it through. And again, it's going to be baby steps. Baby steps in that direction are going to help you rewire yourself so that you're able to step more fully into your highest potential. And then finally, if your south node is in a water sign, it means in the karmic past, you were very attuned to energy. you were very used to feelings and intuition. You very tuned into people's needs, to spiritual needs. And the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So if you have one of those, your comfort zone is in the intuition and in the flow and in your feelings and trusting your feelings. And what's going to be, what your evolutionary instructions are, have to do with getting yourself grounded in the physical world. So working with materials, gardening, cooking, doing art where you're focused on technique, just getting more involved in the tangible, engaging with the world, getting your feet planted on the ground and getting more practical. So again, that doesn't feel comfortable or familiar, but when you take baby steps in that direction, it's going to help you to step into your highest potential. So that's a quick nutshell overview of your lunar nodes and how they are, why they're so important. And again, the the clarity call to spend some time with me and get your questions answered is bit.ly/rocket fuel package, and that will tell you more information about the opportunity to work with me in depth. Again, I've had clients whose lives have absolutely been changed, and I think I've mentioned before in these sessions that it's really not whatever they thought they were coming in to do often, is like it was really about something else, or it was really something much, much bigger and more comprehensive than they even realized. So people tend to experience a complete transformation in everything from their creative work to their family life, to their relationships, to, just every aspect of work and self-expression and getting projects going that you weren't able to get the momentum for previously. And, I'm thinking of one client I had who had some big things to do in the world, and she was really, really stuck. And we were able to just break it down and get her a really good, solid action plan that was based in her chart. And she got there. She was, by the end of it, she was doing it and more. And she just, she needed the validation. The structure really speaks to your soul. And because it was validating and affirming her at such a deep level and giving her the tangible how-to of how to move forward with what was so important, what she just felt so driven to do, that she got her blog going, she got clients, and it was moving, it was happening. So, that kind of thing, it's different for everybody. I've got another person who just opened her heart in such beautiful ways that she's so grateful for life now on a daily basis, whereas before she was completely stressed and overwhelmed. And she knows, when she goes into stress and overwhelm, she knows what to do about it. She shifts it more and more quickly, and she doesn't worry about it anymore. She doesn't get overwhelmed. She's like, I know this is coming up, and I know it's temporary, and I know what to do. So it's just super powerful stuff. And of course, I've devoted my life to it. I use it in my own daily life. My use of it led to my being here to share it and to write in my books about it. And I just think it's so important for us as we shift into who we need to be as human beings on this planet. We absolutely need this information. And so we have one final call in this Jetpack series, and that's going to be on Saturday, which is super exciting because Saturday is right before the lunar eclipse in Leo, and Leo is about shining your light in the world. And so we're going to be talking about your brilliance. I'm going to be leading a guided meditation, a short one, on that call. I do have my my new and full moon guided meditations for my subscribers, and those are available also for sale individually. But I'm going to be leading you live through a brief meditation that's going to help you step into your brilliance. And I think you're going to love it. You'll see an example of how these astrological principles can work in ways that help you shift and help you connect with your own higher wisdom and truth. And if you want to learn more, schedule that clarity call with me, bit.ly/rocket fuel package. I will see you on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I don't see any questions. I'm just so excited to see everyone here and letting me know you're here. So that is awesome. And if you do have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. All right, I will see you Saturday. Bye for now.